My name is Michael Weinstein. I'm president of the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, and we are sponsors of this initiative. Just very briefly, let me say today that this is part of the march of history. This has been a long battle that we've been pursuing, and that we've reached an important landmark in that, which is that we have collected now more than 360,000 signatures to place this on the county ballot. We're holding this press conference today at the top of City Hall for two reasons. First of all, because the vast majority of pornography in the United States is made here in the city of Los Angeles, but also because of the leadership role that the city of Los Angeles has taken in addressing this issue. In a lot of the coverage of this issue, there's been a lot of focus on AIDS. But in actuality, the primary issue here is not AIDS, but is sexual health in general, and in particular, the thousands of cases of STDs that take place in this industry. And these are not to be taken lightly. Herpes is a lifelong infection. Chlamydia can cause these young women who are in the industry to become infertile. HPV can cause cervical cancer. And of course, this is contributing to the spread of disease throughout the community. In addition to 360,000 signatures at the county level, we also collected 70,000 for the initiative at the city level. So in total, more than 430,000 of the citizens of Southern California have signed a petition, and that shows a clear interest in seeing the situation around unsafe sex and pornography changed. So first and foremost, I'd like to introduce one of the sponsors of the city initiative to vote in the city council to enact it for the city of Los Angeles, and a longtime supporter of HF, Councilman Bill Rosenthal.
I just wanted to come up for a quick second and remember a few realities that I have lived with. Many of us in the gay community have lost our loved ones in the 80s and the 90s. But when we became aware of how AIDS was transmitted, which we did not know in the 80s, many of us perished and we lost our loved ones. And it's about safety. It is truly about awareness of health issues. A condom protects both parties from any kind of a serious health issue. Obviously, AIDS is on the top of my mind, but there are other diseases that are transmission. When you hear the industry say, oh, it's jobs or it's tons of money and this and that, it can be done. You just have to be creative and think about it. Just like the work themselves that they do has creative elements to it. It's about the safety of the people engaging in those sex acts. I will always remember what we went through in the 80s and 90s, and Michael Weinstein was one of those incredible leaders that was out there supporting us day and night, and so that's why we here in the city have honored that. My colleague Paul Koretz and I move forward with it, and we hope that when it qualifies for the ballot that the people look at it from a health and safety standpoint. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Paula Tabarro from UCLA School of Public Health.
When we started to be aware that right in our own neighborhood, in our own back door, as it were, there were all these unsafe practices occurring, and we quickly recognized that this was a worker safety and health issue, and that these workers, in other words, the actors, thought that they were taking the kinds of precautions that would protect them, but in actuality, they were being open to getting diseases such as HIV, but also numerous STDs. And we solicited the input of the producers, the actors themselves, and the community, and came to a realization that condom use on the set was the absolutely most important thing to achieve better health and safety, and also some of the other provisions of this measure, which are the licensing, which is also very important.
The man I'm about to introduce is someone who contracted HIV in the making of adult films, and has been incredibly brave in telling his story in order to help protect other performers. I'd like to introduce Darren James.
I started in the industry back in 1998, so I can validate. I go back to the old school where we were just oblivious to, you know, the STDs, the outbreaks back then. I was a worker, put it like that. Use my story so we can stop this from happening in the industry, you know, because right now, I'm actually living my dream. I'm helping people, telling them my story. I feel like I've been reborn, you know. I'm always gonna be a fighter. All my life, physical or mental, whatever, I'm always gonna be a fighter. If I could tell my story to help one guy out of a million, that's beautiful. Basically, the fight is just beginning, you know. And maybe you can use my story, get it out there more and more, and if I can talk more, and just put a positive sense on it instead of being negative. You know, put a positive sense on it and just say, you know, at least my HIV outbreak could put an education on this and show it for what it is, man. Because it's going to happen again if we don't wake up. I just wanted to stop.